This is Unit 9, Lesson 3, Graphing Quadratics, Mixed Forms. So when you see that mixed forms, it basically just means I'm going to give you either in standard form or vertex form. So let's just graph the following quadratics, state the vertex and the domain and range. So in number 1, the first thing we need to do is figure out what form it is. If we look, because it has these parentheses, that makes this vertex form, which means our vertex is given to us right here. We don't have to use the equation negative b over 2a. We can just go, okay, there's our vertex, 4, negative 2. Now we're going to put that point in the middle and put some of our coordinates around it. So take your calculator and just plug in. Okay, so now I got my points in my table, so let's go ahead and plot them. So 2, 2, 3, negative 1, 4, negative 2. Now here I hit my axis of symmetry, which means all my points are just going to reflect over that axis. So there is our quadratic. If you don't know this by now, this is a minimum. So our domain is from negative infinity to infinity. Our range goes from negative 2 to positive infinity. Okay, number 2. So if we look at this equation, we have that a x squared plus bx plus c form, which means this is that standard form. So we're going to have to find our axis of symmetry, which means we're going to have to use the equation x equals negative b over 2a to find that. So remember, it goes a, b, c. So it's x equals negative 4 over 2 times 2. So x is negative 4 over 4, which is negative 1. So our vertex, we know it's at negative 1 something. That's the one part about, standard form is you have to find that other coordinate. So that's what I'm using. I'm just plugging negative 1 into my equation. And I got negative 8. So now in my table, I'm going to go from negative 3 to 1. And again, I'm just taking all of these values, plugging in my equation, just like I took these values and plugged them into that equation. Oops. Okay, got my points. Now I can just plot them. So negative 3, 0. Negative 2, negative 6. Negative 1, negative 8. 0, negative 6, and 1, 0. So here we have another minimum. let's put my axis of symmetry in. Domain infinity to infinity. Range, we go from that y value, again, remember this -8 from our coordinate right here, and we're going up. So it's from -8 to infinity. Those of you who struggle with your infinities, please make it know that this is a -8 and that's an infinity. Some of you guys are making them all look like this. Like, I don't know, just be careful with that. Okay, number 3. So again, if we look, this is standard form. Which means I'm going to have to find my axis of symmetry using our equation. So A is 1, B is -6. So -6 over 2 times 1. So our x is 3. So I could go in right now and draw my axis of symmetry. We know it's going to be at 3. Now to find our values. So just plug in. We've done this enough times now where I don't think I need to write this out, but we're just, taking these values, plugging them into our equation. So I just start with my vertex. Doesn't matter which one you start with. I just want to know what it was. So there's my first point. 3, -4. Now keep going. Okay, so we're at 1, 0, 2, -3, 4, -3, and 5, 0. So domain, infinity to infinity. Range, oh, look, another minimum. So we're going from -4 and up. Okay, last one. So our vertex, this is vertex form, so it's really easy to get our vertex. So it's from -5, because so was the opposite, to -3. Okay, now plug in. Okay, let's plot our points. So we got our axis of symmetry at -5, -5, -3 is our vertex, -6, -1, -4, -1, -3, 5, and -7, 5. So let's double check, does this picture look right? Well, this points 2 away, this points 2 away. Remember, that should be the same distance on both sides. Those are both 2 away. Here, 1 away, so they're both 1, so that checks. Now, don't forget the most important step, actually connecting your lines. You would not believe how many times students do not connect their lines on their homework or on their quiz. So domain, same thing every time. Negative infinity to infinity. Range is another minimum. I should have made this one a maximum, but oh well. So we are going from -3 to infinity. And that is it for notes today.